Rolling.
Rolling. 30 seconds. Hold on.
Welcome everybody to the Table of Truth. It is your man Cam. With me, as always, is
Yo, Dwayne. I was praying Anthony cut me off, but yeah, whatever's D.
Yo, what up, y'all? This is the Righteous Ant. Let's go. How y'all doing?
Righteous. Hotep Ant. What's up? This is your boy Cam from West Coast representing.
Peace, fellas. Incense and love and light and all that. So today we're going to talk about our reactions to Vice dropped a new episode of Minority Report Season 2. It's called, in this episode specifically, it's called The Young Black Conservatives of Trump's America, and basically profiles the Black conservatives that had attended the Washington, D.C. Kind of like Young Conservative Summit that went on in October. And but yeah, we all kind of, well, we all watched either the whole thing or at least pieces of it. Yeah, it was the Young Black Leader Summit, sorry. And so the gist of the doc basically is profiling young Black conservatives and how they're in stark contrast with the rest of quote unquote Black America and as a whole, but also with the backlash that they get for being Black and conservative. And so people call them coons and people call them misguided and ignorant and this and that. And so the episode from Minority Report kind of delves into that, talks to a bunch of them, some of them on the super extreme, some of them just kind of like quote unquote normal people and just trying to live their lives. But I thought it was interesting, and I thought it would be good like conversation just to have in general with all of us, since we're obviously not Black conservatives, but we also are Black people. So this is in our community, so we wanted to talk about it.
Shit, man, I'm rich. What you talking about, homie?
Telling you, dude. Like I said, if I was rich, I wouldn't talk to none of y'all niggas. So I'm not rich enough to be conservative yet. Give me a little time. Give me a little time.
Need another tax bracket,
Exactly. That's how I look at it. I'll be conservative when I get into another tax bracket. Till then, I'm down here with the muck with the peasants.
Yo. All jokes, y'all. All jokes.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hashtag sense of humor.
Yeah. Cut to Cam 2027. Yes, I am a senator now. But yeah, what you guys think of the doc?
All right, I'll go first. Y'all can chime in anytime y'all want. When I first saw it, I thought this was Get Out 2 meets Attack of the Clones. So when I seen it, and I saw, and what got me was just the hats, and I'm like, yo, is this a joke? Like off top, like they have to know when it's like this that people are gonna say, yo, this is a stage, this is just a political stunt, and that's the first thing that came off my mind. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, but goddamn it, that's a hell of a book, man. So. I still kind of think this is phony, because you cannot preach Democrats are bad and without knowing your history. Granted, Democrats is not all for us. Sometimes there's political rhetoric with them too, but I don't want to hear what you got to say when you're backing Trump, because if you know his history, you know what he's done now. How can you sit here and have America's Make America Great hat? Like, they should have just finished this with Kanye West. He should have been like the Darth Vader of the fucking crew, So that, I'll let y'all go. I'll chime in after, but that was just my first impression of the documentary when I first seen it.
Dwayne?
I didn't finish it. I got like maybe 15 minutes in, and then I had to jump back to work. But what I saw is, I mean, this is it's just how it is, man. You're gonna have people on one side and other people on the other. I mean, you don't have to be a Democrat, you know what I mean? It's just weird for me listening to what 45 talks about, and then like just to see minorities who support him. I'm just like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people talk about economy and what can the Democrats do for me, but I just feel like when you have a guy in office who's, to me, racist, just the way the one, what was it, Friday, when he was talking about the government opening, and he went on a rant about the wall. just the way he was talking, I'm like, yo, like you exaggerating first of all, and second of all, the way like he was talking about Mexicans. I'm like, come on, man. So
Yeah.
like when I see stuff like videos like that, I'm like, are you really like, are you supporting him to be different? Are you supporting him for his message? So I got to finish the video, but from what I saw, I'm like, that's just how people are. You're gonna have weirdos on the other side. So I just took it with a grain of salt. I don't ever want to meet those brothers and sisters in that video because I'm gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna ask them like, why, like what are you doing here? Like
Yeah.
why are you supporting this man?
Well, I thought it was interesting too because the first half of the video is a little bit more like good sound bites. It has like Candace Owens, who's super trolly, and then it has like and all that. And then the later half was actually a little bit better, where it followed two young black women who were in college and how or actually there was like three of them, but one she was adopted, she raised by a white family, and when Trump won, her parents sent her mom sent her a Trump 2020 or whatever t-shirt it was. She wore it, and then her friends all basically turned on her and that kind of stuff. And so she was just kind of going through that emotion. And then the other girls, they were talking about how like they lost friends just because they voted for Trump or whatever. And so what they did was they actually talked to the BSU there and talked to those BSU people, and they're talking about, hey, you guys at the BSU, you're supposed to be open to all black people, blah 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 blah, but are you open to black conservatives as well? Why or why not? And so of course, the same jokes that we all just said, being a coon, ignorant, da 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 da, came out, and then the host was kind of like, well, okay, but then this is the BSU's for all black people, so that means there's space for conservatives, right? And all of them were kind of like, I guess. And so I thought that was a good way to kind of end the doc on, because we're more black people are always voted as always thought of as a monolithic type of thing. We're all poor, black, or conservative or liberal. We're not all poor, but that's we're the victim mentality. So a lot of the conservatives, especially on the black side, they reject that thinking, and so that's a lot of times why they go that realm. They're just like, yo, I'm not poor in the hood and that. So why should I have to rock with other people that are like that? So that's how they kind of separate themselves. So it's an interesting kind of tug and pull, because you have on one end, some of the stuff that they're saying could be taken as actual positive, but in other parts, it blatantly take out the other spots like, hey, Trump's a racist. Yeah, but
I get that because it does make sense. It's good to see the other side, which is kind of what I took from the video. Like you said, like we're always shown in one light. So I guess it's good to show black Republicans, show like we're more versatile. But quick question before Cam chimes in. I remember identifying as a Democrat when I was a kid. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but I don't know why. Can you guys remember what you before you even voted? Did you identify with a political party?
Well, I can honestly say that my grandfather was Republican, so I was Republican when I first began to vote, only because he was Republican.
No, I'm talking about before, like when you I'm talking about like grade school,
teenager.
Yeah, exactly. In my head, I thought Democrat.
I didn't really think of a party until like my 15. So
that's just me.
Yeah, no, I didn't really think of a party per se, but I definitely knew I wasn't like rocking with like a Ronald Reagan or like a George Bush.
So okay, my first realization of political parties started with a TV show called Family Ties, and Alex Keaton, played by Michael J. Fox, was a Republican, and he was under the Reagan administration. Now, as a kid, I heard terms like Star Wars from Reagan, Iran-Contra affair, and shit like that. And as a kid, I didn't know what that meant, but I heard Star Wars, and I was like, that sounds cool. And then he was part of the DARE program. Fast forward, we know DARE was full of crap and all that and whatnot. But as a kid growing up, we had the DARE t-shirts. We were all about it. So I guess as a kid, I was kind of akin to, I knew who Ronald Reagan was. He was part of the DARE program. I watched Family Ties because my elders watched it, and Alex Keaton was a Republican. I thought Alex Keaton was a cool dude because of Back to the Future. So yeah, I was like kind of ingrained into it by that association. But however, getting back to the point about the conservatives, I'm gonna take a different spin on it. The issue I have with them It's not them. It's the people who criticize them.
Yeah.
The problem I have with the quote unquote other side is that they don't allow people to have a difference of an opinion. And I remember this coming on my Twitter timeline. I saw it, and my first indication or inclination was to crucify them with memes and jokes, because it seems so absurd to see people of color or minorities support something that we were opposed to. However, the caveat to that is that we should allow for a healthy debate, a healthy discussion, maybe some understanding, to exchange of ideas, where if a person has a difference of opinion, we can hear them out without having to crucify them.
Can I counter that?
Hold on. Let me finish this point. Without crucifying them. Yes, it is absurd, but yes, they may have a side that we don't understand. And in order for us to understand, we must allow them the platform to communicate why they stand for certain things. Obviously, we know like the most extreme reasons, like, okay, you can't justify being on that side, but if they want to vote for that man, that's on them. And at the same time, I personally would like to, like, why do you vote for this man? And here's the facts. Do you still believe that, and have that dialogue? We right now in its current state, I don't believe people can have a healthy dialogue without having to go for each other's quote unquote jugular. But go ahead, Ant.
But you got to understand, though, when you put on that emblem, you have to be educated before you put on the hat that says "Make America Great Again" and what it stands for and who is representing that hat. You cannot just put the hat on and say, "Well, hear me out," and then say, "Why are you mad at me?" You had, slavery been 400 years. Like it's so much history for you to just come on and say, "Yo, I'm gonna put that hat on, support Trump."
But you're equating a hat and a symbol and a dude to the effects of systematic slavery in America. And
yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so I'm saying, like, that's how you look at it. But now look at other people that don't. So like that's the part that Cam was saying. We have a tendency, especially in our own Black culture, to 100% automatically quote unquote cancel or make fun of someone for not having the same hive mind that we all have. And
but Cam, how can you justify that though?
No, not saying justify. I'm just saying that you're like the levels of wokeness is always different for everybody. So where like the previous conversation or the conversation that was after the documentary where they just sat down, this dude was a gay Black Republican.
Mm-hmm.
None of those things actually really go together. So you're Republican, which is conservative, low taxes, smaller government, but then you're gay, which would also be antithetical to a lot of Republican views, exactly. And then you're also Black as well, which is also antithetical to a lot of things. So I was laughing because he also made some good points in some of his things, but it was just interesting because where you saw the same with like Obama. Like some people saw Obama as this like beacon of like a Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and other people just saw another coon in a suit as the president. So the hat and the symbol, because some people equate the MAGA hat now with the new KKK hood or whatever you want to put it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And other people, they actually don't. They actually look at themselves as now being separated from the hive mind that's always been around, and now I can go do my own way. So I think that's that's that aspect that has to be looked at. And so with the way Cam is looking at it about like listening to someone else without having to demonize them, that's something that's a discourse that kind of needs to happen in 2019. I think like I can rock with you, I can have a conversation with you, and you could be Republican or super conservative, but we can still have a conversation. I don't have to sit like nigga you stupid, as opposed to like, all right, so you're telling me you're seeking to understand them, I guess I should say.
Let me piggyback off that, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. So the whole "Make America Great" campaign is associated with Trump. Now, if that was associated with Obama, well, we have a problem with it. It's the same thing as saying if you look at the swastika was taken out of context. The swastika was a symbol for peace, but someone else, yeah. So someone else took that and used it as a symbol for hatred and whatever, all that it encompasses it. So if a Black conservative takes the simple statement "Make America Great Again," they believe that their country is in turmoil and they want to make a better tomorrow within this country. They support that ideal. However, they may or may not have tried to separate all the negative that comes with it, like Trump and all the stuff that he's been trying to pull with all of those shenanigans and all the stuff that he's put behind the "Making America Great." If you take the statement by itself, there's nothing wrong with that. Make America great again. You could say make my block great again. You could say make Kanye great again. There's nothing wrong with that statement. But we understand, we understand the intricacies that encompass that whole statement and everything that follows behind it. But we don't know if someone has taken that and filtered out all the BS and said, I don't associate myself with that, but I do want to make my country great again. They support their country. They can be black, white, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We just automatically assume. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm just saying we don't do the homework or try to investigate or engage in a healthy dialogue to understand one another nowadays. I am a victim of this as well. Something comes on my timeline, I see it, I react, I put a meme or whatever, but then I have to sit back and say, you know, why do you hate Trump? What's the quick thing they say? Oh, he's racist. But like,
I mean, yeah. Oh, sorry, I was gonna answer why I hate Trump. Go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, when you ask somebody, it's like, oh, he's racist, oh, he's not for the people. But like,
I mean, real quick, me and Ann have been dealing with Trump being from New York since the '80s.
Yeah.
So we when he became president, I was just like in shock. I'm just like, yeah. Have you seen what this guy's been doing since he's been around, running around like New York and New Jersey?
Park 5.
Yeah, like this dude built. He lied to people on the West Side Highway. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna build some buildings.
Yes.
It won't block your view." This dude built the highest buildings and blocked what, like 10 blocks? Like he does so much shady shit. But Cam, I get exactly what you're saying. We do have, both of you guys, we do have to be more mature in terms of listening to other people. Like I said, I will sit down with those people and ask them why. Like, I really want to know, because I'm pretty sure there's some things that he does that are good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not
trying to humanize the man, but I'm just saying, if you ask your normal Black American who probably didn't grow up in New York and doesn't know about Trump, and they don't know Trump, they just see Trump on TV. You're like, why do you hate this guy? Sometimes they might not even give you a straight answer. They don't know. They just going off what the populace say. You know.
But I don't think you can. I don't think that you cannot filter out that statement, "Make America Great." Oh, I don't mean it to be this negative. I mean it to be great in my way. No. What that stands for is what it stands for. Period. That's like saying, yo, I'm a drug dealer, but support me because I'm trying to feed my family. Nigga, you still going to jail. It don't matter. It doesn't matter why you say it is what it is. That statement, "Make America Great." When was it great? At what point when you say great? When was great? The last time I said,
it all depends on individual. Man.
Yeah, individual and context. Yeah, like, if you say let's take America out of it. Let's just say let's make the hood great again. There was a point in time the hood was great. It was good times. We all lived in a neighborhood where, you know, it was dope, but then maybe it turned to hell. And then you come out with a hat, make the hood great again, and you're doing all these tactics to make your hood great again. There's nothing wrong with the statement by itself. You know what I'm saying?
But who made the statement hot? Trump. So therefore, we got to go with what he is talking about.
It's like using the N-word, right? We've taken that word and turned it into something else, right? And it used to be something that was powerful for them, and it would be a downgrade for us. Now, again, it still is. But I'm just saying, we've rationalized it. We rationalize it to say in common speech now.
I hear you.
Okay, I'm just putting a little paint where it ain't, and I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I feel you.
I totally understand. Make America great right now in its current context is the fact that the people behind it are malicious and they have
that's all I'm trying
a negative means to an end. But again, these Black conservatives, in the point of the Black conservatives, we don't know what they're thinking because we don't give them an opportunity. Yes, we can step back and see from the outside in. It's like, oh, these are fools. They tripping. They don't understand. Like I said, you don't have to be a Democrat. You don't have to be a Republican.
Yeah, it can be anything you want.
It can be anything you want. But we always associate ourselves like, oh, if you're not Democratic, then you're not for the people. No, that's not true, and vice versa. You know, I personally, I'm not as well versed on it, but I do understand that. You know, it's not as simple as a black and white Democrat Republican. There's more to it. There's a lot more intricacies about politics and how that works. That's a topic for another day. But I just wanted to put that scenario out there for you, so it's not as easy to judge. I mean, we're quick to judge, but it's not as simple as it appears to be at times.
I think freedom of speech counts. So
but I think also too, like, you know, and this kind of, we can even bring this back to the Kanye situation where it's like, you know, you had Kanye present a situation or present he was talking about like someone asked me about the whole Kanye thing when he was talking about, slavery is a choice, blah, blah, blah. And like, I broke it down to them and they're like, well, you explained it better than Kanye did. I'm like, of course, Kanye usually is not the most articulate dude about explaining an idea, but
that's a powerful statement to make, though.
Yeah, but it's a very powerful.
Yourself.
Exactly, and with the position of power that he has, and I'll say power in a smaller sense, of I would say following. Like a lot of people are like watch him and look up to him, and in the Black community, if you are a celebrity, a politician, or like a athlete, you get a little bit more. People look and hear and listen to what you say more than the average Negroes on the podcast just talking some random shit. And so that aspect of it was the part that was like more amplified, where it's like, if you actually listen to the whole thing in context, you can see what he's talking about. But most people were getting was get that soundbite, so then they were already quick to just say, yeah, it's whatever. Same thing with the Trump situation. Jim Brown met with Trump. Kanye met with Trump. Who else?
Steve Harvey, right?
Canceled.
Steve Harvey met with Trump. So it was interesting. And so it was interesting to see and watch that happen, because I was really curious, and I was interesting to watch the people go through those reactions of like, why is this person here? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Da, 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 yada, yada, yada. But anyway,
Ray Lewis meet with Trump too?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to me where it's kind of like, I think there is space for the people to be conservative, people to be socialist, people to be the Democrat way or whatever. But I think in the typical term of Black America, usually there isn't. It's either you're freaking for the people and the culture, quote unquote, or you're not. You're a coon.
Real quick on that meeting Trump. I think because what the quote unquote backlash is going to be as soon as you associate yourself with him. So I think if you're an entertainer, if you're somebody of stature and you're going to meet with him, you really have to be transparent and say why you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yes, you have to. You
got to be like, I think Steve Harvey tried to break it down, like, or was it? I think it was Ray Lewis. Maybe he was saying,
"Yeah,
I'm trying to tell him like what's going on in the neighborhood." But you have to say why you're meeting with him, because if not, people are just gonna look at it and be like, "All right."
I think it was Jim Brown.
Yeah, there you go, Jim Brown.
Okay, it was one of them.
Yeah, and okay, so look, there's that one side, but there's also the other side that they're what's the word? Pandering to the Black community. Like Trump, there was a point where Trump was trying to prove that he had.
Stuff, Cam, but go ahead, yo.
Sorry.
I feel like it's a photo op. Like, hey, I'm associated.
No, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
I think Trump was trying to say, look, I am cool with the Black community. Look, I am cool with these Black leaders or prominent figures. It is the same thing that Hillary did when she brought the hot sauce to the radio station.
Did she dab?
Yeah.
Yo. And then hold on. And this is why I be like, man, like all these candidates from my lifetime, they've been doing the same little cycle. They're trying to get that vote. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Clinton, what they say, Clinton was the last
saxophone, the first Black president.
Yeah, that's full of so crazy to me. Like, because he was on the Arsenio Hall show.
Yeah. I mean, well, and even funnier is the whole hot sauce situation with Hillary Clinton is hilarious, because unfortunately that actually is a true thing, because Bill Clinton is notorious. He's from the South. He used to have a horrible diet, so he used to always eat nothing but fucking barbecue and all that shit before his fucking quadruple bypass. So she actually literally did have hot sauce in her bag all the time because of that situation. But it doesn't really matter in that context, because now it just automatically looks like you're pandering. There's a good picture of Kamala Harris just announced that she's running for president. She's half Black, half Indian. She's from the Bay, whatever. But there's a picture of her, and she went to Howard University, and it's like, I don't know, she's like 30 or something like that with two other Black women. And then someone was like, look at the picture of Kamala Harris taking it with her two friends, so she can pander to the Black community, but she do this like 20 years ago. And so
I really don't care what she is. She could be Trinidad Tobago. Whatever.
but I think that's the most interesting part, because I think nowadays, because of social media and everything else, you can be exposed. People don't do their research, but then people are. It's like it's the worst part. We're in the age that you can actually find all the information that you really want, but you do the least amount of searching for it, and so. That's part's the most interesting. So it's like a lot of times when I talk to people that are like, it's super extreme of anything, whether it's socialism, being a Democrat, being a feminist, being Black Lives Matter, whatever, like really talking to them and getting a little bit below the surface, they really haven't done that research. And Black people, and on a whole, we're like the worst offenders of that because we usually do the hot takes. It's a cancel culture really quick. So automatically off face, if like you say you voted for Trump, I'm Xing you out, period. It's like, wait, stop. You don't know this person's story. Or they come from the suburbs? So were they adopted? Were they in a realm where all their people around them that are Black went to college, have jobs, have this, have no idea what you're talking about, where you're coming from, and maybe they don't have empathy of that aspect of it too. So I think that's an aspect too that sometimes forget. Like people always, and then one thing that one dude said before I keep going to rant, but he was just like, he was talking about how why does everyone assume all Black people are broke? And that's a real statement. Like, that's usually when you hear a liberal talk about Black America or something like that, it has been in a negative term. And if there's a positive aspect of it, it usually is associated with an athlete or a movie star or something like that, never really on a overall basis. So I can see where from his mind.
Can you name one normal Black guy?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like in tech or something like.
I mean, I can't, but like your average person would be like,
I'm talking about mainstream person.
Yeah, I would say Tristan Walker. He's the one that sold Bevel. He's a tech dude. He's a CEO, millionaire.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go.
But you're correct though. No, but you're right. Yeah, but you're right though. That's what I'm saying. So like that aspect of it is super interesting, and so I can see in Black culture, again, if you're not like us, like people like us do things like this. And if you're like us, you don't vote for Trump. That's the mentality people have.
What got me mad with Steve Harvey and it's like the Black resistance trying to politic with the emperor, man. Like this is staged to me. It's fucking you. Like what did they really think was going to come out of talking with Trump besides just publicity, like and apologies? That's the only thing that came out of that was the save face after they came out of that damn room. Yo, let me tell you why. And yo, you really think your speech is gonna change this, man? Like, fuck out of here. And this is why I get upset when I see this documentary. It's like, yo, why we always get bamboozled, Joe? Like, don't we know enough? Don't we know our history? Like, is they gonna play? Yo, again,
the thing that sucks about politics is it's the them versus us.
Yes.
Like, if you really quote unquote want to make America great again, I'm pretty sure there's some ideas from the Democrats that you could use that you don't want to use because it's coming from the Democrats. So politics to me is just a game. It's just stupid. Like it's like you're affiliating yourself with one side, and then whatever the other side says is automatically wrong. Like, yeah, people could be Republican. There's things that Republicans do that you might not agree with, but there's policies that you do agree with. But just because they're Republican, Democrats can be like, no, we're not going to pass it. Like that is so backwards if you want to get your country in a better place.
And what people don't realize is like, the healthcare policy that got passed was based off of a policy that was passed by conservatives. And so it was passed by conservatives and then it was adopted on a national scale. So like, the conservatives and GOP had actually passed it within the state. It actually worked really well. They took that plan, tried to do it on a national level. They're just like, whoa, why are you trying to do this, Black man? It's cool when white people do it, but not when the Black guy wants to do it. Mm-hmm. So, but it is interesting because I think that aspect, like, I think the documentary was good to see because there's a lot more conservative Black people than Black people think because we just assume that everyone is quote unquote like us, and
it just shows us in a different light.
Exactly. And honestly, that to me was the best part. Like, Black people aren't a big monolith people like that. I think that's the overall theme of that episode, and so we have to kind of figure out if we're not a one big monolith, then we have to be within ourselves cool with not being a monolith. And there's room for everybody. Like you can be Black Muslim and Black Christian and, whatever, conservative and this and that, and still be all in that same realm. And like, I think that's the part that everyone's having a problem with. Like, if you're Black, you shouldn't be conservative, as opposed to, if you're Black, you shouldn't think of as a victim all the time. That's the main Black conservative line. Like, oh, I'm not a victim. I worked hard. I did my thing, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, it ain't about Republican or Democrat. It's when you are representing a man who reeks of racial rhetoric, and it's just negativity.
But to us, that's what we think. To them, they probably don't see that.
Yeah.
So then they're brainwashed.
I mean, it's not brainwashed.
But there's also
said there's there was a Black female that was adopted by a white family. her upbringing is different from ours. So there's probably certain things where she's just like, oh, that
But
doesn't apply to me.
isn't it the parents' responsibility to let them know what it really is out here in the world?
Not necessarily, because think about it.
Why keep a
I
close
don't know where
mind
she
if you're
grew
a
up
parent?
at.
Yeah,
I don't. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, what they showed in the doc. She showed she's middle class white family, whatever.
And they don't know Trump is racist. You trying to tell me they don't know?
But not even necessarily about that. And that's the thing. Like, I was laughing because I said the story over and over again. But my brother is married to a white woman, 4 biracial children. She voted for Trump. Why? Yeah, totally.
Damn.
The whole church did. They go to a Baptist church. It's
Hold
mostly white
up.
people. Yeah.
That must have been some dinner, Kim.
Yep.
Yo, I was there.
Yep. Yep.
And-
Wait, you were there where?
Like after, like Thanksgiving.
That must have been some dinner, boy.
Let me tell you, when Cam prepped me, and I was like, y'all still having Thanksgiving dinner? I walked in there and like it was divided. The whites bruh. The whites was on one side of the table, the blacks was on the other side.
Damn. Yo, I'm telling you.
I shit you not. Politics was not discussed that day.
Not even about once.
And let me tell you this: you could tell the Republicans in the House by on which dessert was made.
You got rice pudding on the one side. You got raisins with fucking.
Somebody brought macaroni casserole.
Peace cobbler to the left.
Lines were drawn, gentlemen. Lines were drawn.
Yeah.
But wait, I don't mean to make this.
No, but to continue though. But
you know why? You know why she voted for Trump?
So the conversation, because I'm talking to my brother about this.
Yeah.
And so
And shout out to your brother, man. That's love right there, man.
Yeah. So
we know him.
Yeah. So he was basically kind of like, they're talking about politics, and then she's like, she voted for Trump. And now again, this is 100% true. She voted for Trump because of it was funny because he was against, quote unquote, against abortion, or save the babies, that dumb shit.
Okay.
So one thing that there were people that I saw reports after, and what people also don't realize is a lot of people that vote for like the presidency and that shit, it's really a one issue voter. They don't sit there and look at the person's whole record and think of blah blah blah. It's literally as simple as I'm a conservative Christian and Hillary's over here with gays and black people. Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna vote for the other dude. And so, on her end, that's literally like she votes Republican because of the Christian aspect. Now, never mind that Trump is literally the least Christian. Like,
let Trump walk into a church right now.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing full well this dude probably got a separate bank account for freaking for all abortion.
All you see is this wig running around the church.
Get me out of here! How could you?
You had a deal.
This was a fucking symbiotic shit.
Exactly. So, but it was also interesting because again, that aspect of it was that's how like it was a single issue. It was like and Donovan was like, wait.
So because of that one issue, you're saying is why she voted for Trump.
Yeah, 100%. It didn't even enter her mind that as a white woman, married to a black man and having 4 biracial children, and this dude is said blatantly racist shit. That didn't even even entertain her mind. The only thing she asked, Donovan actually brought this point too. He's like, yo, he did all the shit that a normal Republican candidate does. Goes to the prayer breakfast, goes to the Catholic whatever church and the Baptist church. Like he's like he did all of that shit. Hillary actually did it. She went to more black churches. She was hanging out with the gays and other stuff. So from a Christian point of view, in terms of the Baptist, more conservative, they're looking at Trump as like, oh, okay, he's doing all the Christian shit. All right, cool. I'll just vote for that guy. And it was interesting to hear that logic because here I am thinking of all the things that this dumbass dude has done, but not thinking about, they only looked at that one issue and literally just brushed off the rest like, oh well.
What did your brother say? You do realize I'm black, right?
Yeah.
They said that for real?
Yep.
That's the realest. Awesome. That's as real as they get too. That's as real as they get. I can't get mad at with that.
But what did they say, Cam?
But I think, this is only for her. And I think in that respect, I think she didn't.
Cam dry snitching on his family and shit.
Yeah, no, but I think in that respect, she never really thought about it. I think that was the thing. Like she never actually sat down and thought on that aspect of it. And that goes to when you be in a interracial relationship. A lot of times, your significant other might not understand the certain aspects of Black culture. And so
this is what I'm talking about, trying to understand why. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand.
That's like at the same time, like, isn't that something you should? Like, of course, I feel like it's something you should talk about, yo. Because obviously, you know the backlash of Trump.
And seek to understand, I think, too. You know?
Black History Month is every February, every year. So you got to know something. I don't know what it is. You got to know something.
All they know is Martin Luther King, man.
But it's funny. It's fun. I was telling you the other day. I have a Mexican friend. He voted for Trump.
Oh, hey, side note. This is related to Martin Luther King. I was on Twitter and I seen the FBI, the CIA wish.
Yeah.
I stated,
that was the biggest troll ever.
Yes.
Yep.
All of them.
Like, yo, everybody, I'm saying happy MLK Day. You know, he's a wonderful figure. Blah 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 blah.
I was like, you two entities are responsible for killing me.
And if I get another weather reporter saying Martin Luther King, I'm gonna lose it.
Hey, what did I say? When white people get older, they malfunction. Something. I'm telling you, white people get older and they start malfunctioning. They start saying wild stuff. We got
Martin Luther King.
One of our homies in our respective chat said, "When did we lose Brokaw?" I was like, "I'm telling you, Brokaw. When white people get a certain age, it's something in they brain that just malfunction. They just start gassing off the mouth. Wow."
Yeah, I think it's honestly that empathy aspect of it, not looking at someone's looking at things through another person's eyes. Yeah, and like that kind of like adds to it. And I think, you know, with being in like an interracial relationship, I was with my girl. We're at the grocery store, and in California, you get to bring your own bags. And so, I have, the bag that we're going to bring, whatever. And like, she has the bag too. And then I pick up a little cart. I'm like, yo, you need a cart? She's like, no, I just normally just throw it in the bag. And I was like, yeah, I'm Black. I don't do that. And then she legit had to think about it. She stopped and she was like, oh, because, that's not in her. That doesn't, that's not a thought that she ever has to even think of,
But though, I can't get mad if another race doesn't know the history of us, only because somebody can say that to me. Why don't you know about my culture? I live here every day just like you. So
how don't you know that culture? You taught it in school. The thing is, you don't know your own culture.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, I think that aspect of it. So I think, and also too, there's also the bigger movement in terms of getting to know your ethnicity and your roots and stuff like that. Like with all Ancestry.com, Cam was spoken on it before, and Michael Jai White, he went to he's in Ghana, and he reconnected with some of the roots that he had there. He actually got like a title and stuff like that. Like shit was really, really dope. But he had a good piece where he's like, the whole experience was amazing. But then he actually was talking about the negative aspect of it, how he was like, a lot of people were negative at him. And he was kind of like, why?
A lot of people out there?
Yeah, not in Ghana, in America. Yeah.
What?
They say he's a sellout?
Not even that. It was just like, I think there's a weird aspect of the whole going back to Africa, finding your roots thing that sometimes that people don't really understand or get. And that's just more because
we talk about Black Panther now.
Yeah, man, you're messing up my segue, son.
You messed it up.
Did I get that up?
He timed it right.
Yo, it went to Ghana.
I like that, Cam. I like that, Cam. I like that alley-oop, Cam.
Cam was at the slot machine getting it all primed. Dwayne just come out and throw his nipples.
Cam was ready.
Cam got the notes right there. Dummy.
That's that veteranship right there.
Exactly. I've done this.
I saw the play before it happened, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's that veteranship right there.
But he was getting that. He was getting a little backlash from that. From his trial. He had a whole post about it. But I thought it was dope that he talked about it. But he was just basically in general just challenging Black people in America to go ahead and find their roots.
It was the Black people in America who was giving him shit.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people that I've known personally that gone to Africa, to whatever country it is, either they're finding the roots, they're just traveling. They always have positive, like experiences going to Africa, just in general. And so it is interesting when you see like the slight backlash, which is so weird sometimes. Where I'm like, how would you have a backlash of a Black person going to Africa? Like that's dope, like let them Like if you can find your roots or whatever, like make that shit happen, you know?
Yeah.
But speaking Africa and Wakanda.
We are free.
So Black Panther was nominated for Oscar for Best Picture. And as well as SAG Awards and for Golden Globes as well. And it was interesting because it's twofold. On one fold, it is historic because there has been superhero genre movie nominated for Best Picture. Also historic is on a predominantly Black cast and a non-slave / victim role in a movie nominated for that kind of award. Now, on the other side, it's not, to me personally, even though I like the movie, it's not a Best Picture nominated movie. There's tons of Black movies that came out in 2018 that are more than deserving.
Oh, stop right there. Not Black movies, just movies in general.
Oh yeah,
because
no. I think Cam was trying to say if you want to pick one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, there's tons of movies I think that are more deserving. But if you want to quote unquote, if you need to tick the one Black movie, like this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And so there's tons of movies that are more deserving to be in the Best Picture category. And we all know that Oscars are a farce anyway, so it's all whatever. But let's get past that aspect.
All right, can I ask a question first?
Mm-hmm.
What's determine the best movie of the year? Do they go by sales? Do they go by?
I
need to know, before I make my statement. I need to know why was he?
Cam as the resident film person, please.
I'm asking Cam that question.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying, I don't know too much about it, but what I know, how the Oscars do it, it's stupid. There is a plethora of movies that people are supposed to go through and read this list. They only pick the ones that get hyped up. Like Questlove pointed this out. He's part of the board. Yeah. He was pissed because he did the same thing. He didn't go through and do all his homework. You don't go through all of it. You just go through what you think is more popular by the people, what the hype is. So all these movies you see is basically, oh, I heard this, I'm gonna vote this. There is, from A to Z, there is a shit ton of movies out there, and you have to either watch them all or go through them all. And people ain't got time for that. Like, these movies that are nominated are this hype machine, and it's an unfair process. So when I see like certain pictures to get nominated, I'm like, how? Like, this don't make any sense. There's a lot of movies
like the movies at the end of the year that you see, right? Like it's the last movies that come out in November, December that always get nominated.
Now, it's not to say they don't get it right sometimes. Like I said, Moonlight was the hype, and it was beautiful. It was a dope movie. I watched it. It was well worth it. Sometimes they do get it right. Sometimes they don't get it right. And sometimes they get it wrong. And sometimes you got stuff like obvious, like some of these movies, I'm like, wow, really? Like, why is this part Best Picture? Are we that short on? Maybe there wasn't a lot of movies that came out that got hyped up, you know? So,
I mean, also like in the Questlove example, he was talking about the Mr. Rogers documentary and how that didn't get nominated. And he said, his whole reasoning was just like, in his head, he was like, oh, that's a shoe, and I don't gotta vote for that. Let me put my vote behind something else. And then it doesn't get nominated. He's like, oh shit, what the hell? Like, how come this didn't get nominated? This is obviously a dope documentary, should get recognized, but like Cam said, because it is a voting process between quote unquote the industry and all that, it is about the hype. And so if the hype in the marketing isn't good enough to get to that person to that level, then those films do get missed, and sometimes it doesn't work. Now for the Oscars, them nominate not I'm not even gonna say them, but people picking Black Panther as a Best Picture thing is almost an easy win for the Oscars, because it's like, oh look, hey, we recognize that one Black film that everyone likes, as opposed to being like, is it really the Best Picture of the year type of situation? Like Sorry to Bother You by Boots Riley is like, I heard mad good things about it. It's finally on Hulu. About to check it out. I watched Black Clams. I watched Black Klansman. That shit was pretty cool.
I gotta see that.
Yeah, that was dope. I enjoyed it. I totally enjoyed it.
Sorry to bother you, and I would love to know your opinion when you watch it, Cam.
Yeah. Me and Dwayne on the same hype.
Like, I heard really, really good things. Then I heard the like, what's the hype about? And same. So I want to. That's the part of the reason I want to like. When I hear those conflicting things, that makes me want to watch the movie more. Like, you hear the extreme, like, oh, this is the best movie of the year. Like, nah, this shit was trash. That makes it more interesting for me to watch because I'm like, okay, this is definitely splitting hairs.
Look, there are some movies that you can listen to or see the trailer and know it's dog shit. Aquaman, I don't need to watch that to know it's dog shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just certain movies if you go to watch a movie, like I went to go watch G.I. Joe, not because I thought it was gonna be good, because
in the theaters.
Hell no.
I went to go watch it because I was a kid. I just wanted to see what it was about, and I knew it was gonna be trash. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw a Dragon Ball movie theater, so who am I to judge?
But we went for jokes. We knew.
Oh yeah, I know. No, hold on. This
Cam felt like he was hoping that G.I. Joe was decent.
I was like, what a man store for? Because we had Transformers.
Yeah, saw Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
This is a
guys, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, this is a historic day because this is around the time when Dragon Balls came out. It's around the time I started hanging out with you guys. And Pope was like, yo, we're gonna go watch Dragon Ball Z. It's gonna be laughs, blah, 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 blah. I was like, nah, I'm good. And you all went, and y'all came back, and you were just like, yo.
That shit was so
forcing ourselves to laugh, yo.
Yes.
And when they gave him fucking sensu soup or whatever it was, I'm like, yo, all right.
Yo, it was like 8 people in the movie theater, and we was like, I think we was the only ones in there, like 2 other people. That was it.
But yeah, like Cam said, like it's all hype driven and marketing stuff. So on some aspects, you're right, it does get it right. Other aspects is completely off the mark. But
hold on, Ant, you really like Black Panther to win Best Picture? Why? What about that movie that's so dude?
Black people.
Well, hey, if it's a reason, it's a reason.
I want to hear your reason.
Okay, Trump supporter, go ahead.
we gonna make movies great again. All right, here we go. Nah, honestly, that was like the Marvel roots. I ain't gonna lie, man. It brought people to this. Hold on, wait. Can I talk? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you. All right, it brought people out. It brought unity. That movie. People was wearing dashikis in the movie theater. People was coming. Everybody was African all of a sudden. Girls is wearing afros. Like it was a culture change, culture shock. A Marvel movie, and it probably wasn't even meant to be that, but it was. And people came out. All races came out to watch it. Supported the movie. Sold over $1 billion, which I said it was going to do. And so. On that aspect, why should it not?
You also said the Knicks were going to make the Eastern Conference.
Hey, I'm 1 for my predictions is I'm probably 1 for 40. But for this one,
but yeah, you knocked this one out the park, yo.
He said,
but for this one,
1 for 40.
But yeah, D knows. But this movie we all can admit this was a culture change. That movie.
No, it was, but that make it best film of the year though.
No. Because if I don't know how to, I think for impact alone, why shouldn't it not win movie of the year? Because movies are supposed to do that to you, right? They're supposed to change you, bring you what?
Look, the only thing you got right was that $1 billion. That was, you hit it on the nose. I will give you credit. Okay. However, being disrespectful to Blade.
I'm not being disrespectful.
Hold on. Out of all that Wesley Snipes fight and Blade bigging up, you gonna sit here and say Panther was the jump off? Okay,
that's a good counter.
In defense, is there a movie more memorable than Black Panther in 2018?
Amen.
I mean, in 10 years, we still gonna be talking about Black Panther.
As far as Marvel movies?
No. Best films of the year. Best films of the year that's been nominated.
No, you know what? That's actually a good point because normally when there's a film of the year, a lot of people look at it like, what is this? Like the average person, not the film, like the film people, like a memorable movie in terms of, like, say for instance, a lot of people like the Mission Impossible Fallout movie, and like they're talking about it and say it was amazing, whatever, and like it carried on through the rest of the year. People talking about that movie, whether you thought it was super dope or not, it still kept the conversation was always going.
To be honest, none of these movies that I've watched in 2018 really stood out. I mean, they were entertaining. Like Black Panther, end of the day, it was an entertaining Marvel movie. For all out of all the hate, I should be the one that should be championing Black Panther because I was the one that called Black Panther should have been made a movie when y'all laughed at me and said, "Well, who's gonna be his enemy? White ape?" No,
Ape was in the film.
Yeah, he was. He was. Man ape was.
Man ape
They heard us.
It worked. But however, with that said, in terms of all the Marvel movies, this ain't even in my top 5. So I can't put this as the best picture.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Marvel films. This is
no,
an Academy discussion.
Yeah,
so I'm talking about Academy films.
And I understand that. Like I watched Roma. I saw that. That's cool, but again, I think that's a lot of hype behind it. I'm not going to watch The Green Book because that's another, hey, white savior. We've seen this movie before. Bohemian Rhapsody, I do not care for Freddie Mercury. I wasn't a Queen fan then, and I'm not going to be one now. Black Klansman, I'm hesitant to watch it because Spike has let me down. I need to watch it. People say it's hit or miss. So that's the one. And A Star is Born is a remake, and I do not want to watch Vice. That's another movie about Dick Cheney. I already know. I'm cool. That's
Black Panther will be a film that you will remember years from now.
Exactly. All of them.
If they make another one, I'm gonna forget it. Keep it one.
I guarantee you're gonna see it in the movie theater.
I will watch it in the movie theater, and I will.
If you saw G.I. Joe, you better go see Black Panther 2.
Look, I'm a Marvel fan, so obviously I have commitments to.
Man, that's crazy. I've actually watched half these movies. Stars Born, I peeped that. Black Klansman.
Stars Born wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Yo, Bradley Cooper fucking killed that shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh, he was dope, acting wise, and the way he shot it and everything, and like.
So Spike is back. Spike Lee's back.
No, don't go that crazy.
Yeah, I like 25th Hour. I like.
What was the last great? Wait, what was the last?
Inside Man. I like Inside Man.
Man was good.
That was good. That was real good.
That's it.
Yo, I didn't see Red Hook Summer, whatever he made, but hold on, let me see what's dumb.
Oh, what was that one like vampire movie he made or some shit like that? Oh man,
he made a vampire movie.
It was like a weird. It was really weird.
Then he made a remake of Old Boy.
Southern Vampire.
We spoke about that.
Inside.
He spoke about that. He said he didn't get a chance to make the film he wanted to because they took over.
Yo, anyone ever catch Miracle on St. Anna?
Yeah.
Did I see that?
No, I had to because the homie was in it. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it. Red Hook Summer. He
really didn't make any film.
Inside Man was good.
To be
that was honest, 2006. That's 13 years ago.
To peep this. To be honest, the last really thought provoking Spike Lee movie was Bamboozle. But he's made good movies. But the one that was from that like Spike had thinking to me was Bamboozle.
Yo, so you go to the films to have your life change, yo? You can't go to the films and enjoy it?
I'm not
for entertainment.
Wait, hold on. Slow down. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying 25 hours. I said those are good, but I'm just saying when Spike was changing lanes and making that move, I said Bamboozle was the last one where it was like, yo, this is Spike making moves, like do the right thing and stuff like that. However, I did watch Inside Man in 25 hours. They were very good movies, but it wasn't that like game changer he used to be. He used to have a streak of game changing movies.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you look at it from just I'm looking at his list right now, and like basically once Inside Man hit, after that's when everything kind of went like a little got bubbled up,
Yeah, but
there's a lot of politics. Go ahead, Ann, sorry.
Black Panther had a lot of messages in the movie. It wasn't like it was just some bullshit. Marvel, like it was good. It tackled a lot of. It tackled a lot of in the film. Yeah.
So I had one of my friends. He's originally from London. He's native Kenyan. And he was saying he thought it was interesting to him because he was like, Africa as a continent and each individual country has such a rich culture and all these different things. And he's like, it was super interesting to see African Americans latch on to a fictional African country as opposed to figuring out their own roots and going for that. That's what just from outside looking in. And then also he brought up a good point, which I noticed as well. It was like, as many Black people that like this movie, there's a lot of Black people that are Christian and Baptist and like, God, Jesus and all that. And, you're watching Black Panther set in Wakanda worshiping, a Panther guy, which is basically paganism if you want to go from there. So you have all these Black Christians that love Jesus, but then they're watching and identifying with the movie that's supporting and bigging up paganism in terms of like, Mother Earth, and the Black Panther and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was interesting as well. How a lot of Black people turned a blind eye to that aspect of the religion, but still latched on to what it meant in terms of
because it's still Marvel at the end of the day. It's not Natural Geographic.
But it was more than that for Black people. I think the black people didn't help it get to $1 billion. They definitely co-signed it, but like the rest of the world watched it and everything else. But it was interesting to how Black culture really embraced Black Panther
and
way more.
That's a good point. And piggyback on that. That was fun about it. People getting all hyped about the movie, doing all these little cool things. That was
like
cool.
It was like our own Star Wars.
Yeah,
100%.
That's fine. If we wanted to go get dressed up, it's like going to watch Harry Potter and seeing these nerds get dressed up, looking like somebody from Hogwarts.
But shouldn't that count for something?
No, it does not count. It does not say it should win an Oscar for best picture. No, I will not. I will stand on that hill. Look, it was fun. It was an entertaining movie. It's a Marvel movie. It was it's our, quote unquote, our hero. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But if they wanted to put it as like good CGI, I would even question that part. But like, stuff like that, I could understand. But best picture, I was like, I didn't walk away. I was like, man, that is Oscar worthy.
You know what? I'll tell you this, and do you like Black Panther or Django better?
I like them both.
Answer the question.
Answer the question, man. They can only be one. They can only be one.
I like them both.
There can only be one. Like literally, like there could only be one. Pick one.
All right, so I tell you, you get to watch a movie. You got to pick one of these movies. Which one are you watching first?
I'm watching Black Panther.
Okay.
All right, so you like Black Panther?
Lying. Django, man.
I watch Black Panther.
Yeah.
I'm watching Black Panther.
But Django's a better movie.
Django's a better movie, but I'm watching Black Panther.
Yeah,
I can't compare those two, man.
Why not? They're both Black superhero movies.
That's like
a Black dude killing white people, and you ain't behind it.
Like I said, it's a superhero. It's legit. It's legit a Black superhero movie. He came from the gutter. He grows up, overcome his obstacles, won his girl back, killed a bunch of white people in the process. How is that not a Black superhero?
But we watching a movie where we're kings and queens, man. Like
there you go. There you go. That's the symbolism that people wanted. So Black Panther had that aspect where
they had all of that.
That's the aspect of it where, like, there's a big picture now with I think it was in the SAG Awards that recently, where the cast of Crazy Rich Asians and the cast of Black Panther took a big old group fit photo. And so, and on Twitter, diversity matters, yada yada. And so that representation aspect of it is what people really latched onto. And so, like Black Panther, Crazy Rich Asians had that same kind of thing where a lot of Asian folks were really gravitating it because it's like, oh, this is our movie. And then there's other people that were kind of just like, that's just rich Asian people being.
So that's hypocritical then, because it is a game changer then. What we just said just now is a game changer. Black Panther brought out people. It brought a hero to a community that we were starving for. It showed a lot of Black actors and actors. It was a game changer.
Crazy Rich Asians is the first all Asian cast movie though.
Well, I'm talking about Black Panther
in 20 years, but yeah, you're right, and it's the first one in 20 years, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, because we could say
to be that well received and also to be
number one exactly. Like the last one with that majority of Asians was like Joy Luck Club, which is like 93 or 4.
I think Game Changers should get recognized too. It doesn't have to be.
That's cool, man.
So wait. So the recognition could be by the nomination, but the winning.
If a winner gives you $1 billion,
I would be surprised.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised just because that's an easy way for Oscars to try to make up for the dumbness they've been doing forever.
See you Blackies in 20 years. Yo.
Exactly.
That's just like how Training Day won.
Yeah.
And exactly. I was like, no.
Same shit.
Same shit. That's one of his most memorable roles. Like, granted, he should have won other years. But
she should have won Glory before that.
Glory or Malcolm
X? But
Malcolm X too.
Wait. Glory, he got nominated for supporting, right?
He got Malcolm X too.
I think he won for Glory.
Did he win that one?
He didn't win. He
was supporting in Glory, wasn't he?
Yeah. He didn't win for supporting actor.
Morgan Freeman
was nominated. So he won for best supporting for Glory. He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he got nominated for Malcolm X, Hurricane, Flight, Fences.
And I thought Hurricane was going to be the one where he made it up, or Flight.
Yeah, Fences, and Oh shit, he got nominated for the Roman J. Israel movie. I never watched
I
that.
heard that movie was basura. I heard it was trash. I did not. I'm too scared to watch it, yo.
Bro, you had me on the edge. I was like, is it good?
Word, me too. I heard
So,
that
yeah.
movie was basura.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So you're right though. It's the same. It's the same shit. Like they should not have won for Training Day. That's retarded. But
Man,
you
this
know,
ain't gonna
Why
win
not?
anything.
A lot of those lines are memorable, yo. People
No.
still quote that.
And look, I get it. I get why. I'm not taking away that he won for that. I'm just mad he should have won it way earlier because he had better roles.
yeah.
He went in.
I'm out. Phew,
Like,
I'm
I know
out.
it is. It was a makeup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It was a makeup. That just sucked,
yeah,
though.
definitely was.
Like Al Pacino, right?
No, Halle
Or
Berry.
De Niro.
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio
DiCaprio.
too. Yeah, same.
Yo, but like D said, if it's people's gonna talk about Black Panther for the next 10 years, why should it not win the best movie?
Yeah.
I can't use that logic as why it's the best movie. Like, I'm gonna talk about Moonlight because it's just one of those movies that that really hit hard. Like, what was the one with there was another one with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix, and it was a movie based off Scientology, but it wasn't about Scientology. It was one of the best movies I ever seen, and I understood it, but it's not talking about.
Sounds like life changing and groundbreaking, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Gotta cry and shit.
It was dope. I liked it because of the acting performances between Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix. They really went in. It was a character. The movie was about like a character study between those two dudes. It was dope. But like,
when Michael B. Jordan said, "I'm reclaiming my birthright,"
Killmonger didn't go in. Killmonger.
Joking heads.
I mean, Killmonger did him too. Like, but it's the same thing. It impacted a lot of people.
Is this your award winner here?
That's my award winner. You already know. I will be watching, and it's been a long
Wait, you still
time.
watch the Oscars?
No, I don't. But this time around, I'll be watching.
So if Black Panther gonna win or don't win, you gonna get on Twitter or something? You gonna hit a backflip if they don't win?
I would just want to hear why. That's all.
You want why?
I would love to hear people's reactions to why. That's all. I wouldn't even protest.
And
I
every year,
protest.
I won't protest. Shit, every year, Black people don't win a movie. Get out there.
You gotta give it to Black Panther. It makes
no way. Are you serious?
It made. You tell me what quote unquote Black movie had a bigger wave than this movie. Whether it's any type of genre.
Black Panther's third act and the rubbery CG, the CG disqualifies it for me. Period. The third act is it starts to fall apart. The first two acts are awesome. I loved it. I like the progression. I like the acting. I like the story. The third act is when everything starts to kind of crumble a little bit. There's still good parts and bits to it, but like
crumble.
But
his accent that crumbled.
The accent crumbled. The rubbery CG fight scene.
He got thrown off.
The Gumby was boo. The Gumby was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So like you got this
buns, straight buns.
So if you want to get in that aspect, if you want to get real critical, that's how you can get that critical in that aspect. So it's like I think like what Cam was saying is like you can't like every year this is what happens. We get into this like, oh, this Black person should have won this award. This is like, really, should have they have like what I know that the Oscars is pretty much the end all be all when it comes to film. Unfortunately, like whether you agree with it or not, it still is.
And I take that back. Glory's number one as far as impact for me. I take that back.
But Black films?
He said Black Panther out of all Black films was
Glory was the one for me.
We watched Glory. We watched Glory in
Glory has me in tears every time.
I watched Glory in freaking in school and grade.
I can't watch that no more. It hits me too much. That movie's too real. That shit's real for me. But yeah, but Black Panther this year, there's no other movie that you're gonna tell me is gonna win over Black Panther.
Look, this is how I see it, man.
Hold on, Ant, did you watch the other movies?
No.
And let's get to the New York Knicks. AD's coming to New York.
I've seen 2 movies on that list.
I might have seen one.
That's like Cam's sister-in-law voted for Trump because Because the one thing, yo.
Yep, exactly.
Same thing, yeah. Same way of thinking, yo.
But D, I'm the same one. I'm the same one that said a lightsaber scene was better than a whole Lord of the Rings movie.
Because you OD.
So you know, I go for the juggler.
So when those black liberals say stupid comments,
here we go.
You get mad though.
Yo,
no,
man,
but
I gotta bring it back.
But dude, that's a good segue. But that's a good way to put the parallels. You know, the way Ant views Black Panther and how the movie going experience is exactly how a lot of the Trump black conservatives that voted for Trump kind of view that same shit. It's the same thing, but just different subjects.
Oh yeah, okay. Make movies great again. I'm gonna get my hat.
my biggest gripe is when people complain about Oscars is like, because the movie doesn't win, it doesn't necessarily mean they deserve it. I mean, like, people got up and roared when Luke Cage got canceled. I was like, it wasn't that good.
Yes, it was.
Oh
no, it wasn't.
So it was terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible.
No.
But I can understand why it was canceled. Now they canceled Daredevil and Punisher. I'm like, why? That was actually, it was good.
No.
I mean, we can get into the reason why those things got canceled.
Why is Luke Cage whack?
I can tell you, break it down. Okay, hold on, I'll break it down. Like
the dad,
they want him. They want Luke Cage and paid in full Harlem, yo.
It showed Harlem. It showed communities.
Hold on.
They want to pay the full Harlem, yo.
So look. To break it down really quick, the reason why they got canceled is because all the Marvel properties on Netflix are co-owned. Half Marvel, half Netflix. Marvel and Disney are making their own streaming service, so it makes no sense for them to pay extra money, and Netflix too, because Netflix got to pay extra money to have these shows on there. So it's easier for Netflix just to cancel them now and then let them go, because Marvel really can't fuck with any of those properties until at least 2 years. So they can't make another Luke Cage, they can't make another Daredevil, they can't make another Punisher for a minimum 2 years. So for Netflix, this is a win for them, because it sucks for them because they can't have those episodes on post once they get canceled. I don't know what the legalese on that is, but in terms of money wise, Netflix is going to be paying a premium to have these shows on. So why not just cancel them now, have their own shows and superhero shit that they pay for themselves and then reap all the money for. And on the Marvel end, Marvel's going to start making their own shows anyways. Plus, Kevin Feige is not a big fan of any of the Netflix TV shows. That's a whole other story. So, so in general, it makes it easier for both sides to say, hey, let's just cancel them, move on, and like we can do our own thing. You guys do your own thing, and then keep it moving.
So Disney's gonna make Luke Cage again eventually.
It's a possibility, but I think it's highly unlikely, purely because Kevin Feige wasn't a fan of any of the Netflix shows. I don't know what the specific reason was. They definitely do. Yeah, but best believe you're gonna get a random ass Moon Knight TV show or fucking Canary, Mockingbird, and Hawkeye. You know what I'm saying? Like, so look for that in the next couple of years. But anyways, now back to Luke Cage. Luke Cage was entertaining,
yes,
but if you want to say good, Punisher is a better show. Daredevil is a better show. But Luke Cage, again, you know, they have a Disneyland version of Harlem. Mike Coulter is pretty wooden in terms of the stuff to show that how the writing is different is look at Luke Cage on Jessica Jones and his lines in there, and then look at Luke Cage in his own show. He's actually better on Jessica Jones, showing that the writing is weaker on Luke Cage. Now, the musical direction, I like the bad guys in Luke Cage more than, like, say, Jessica Jones. Like, Bushmaster was awesome.
Except what was that one dude that was in season 1? He was whack. His
brother?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the brother was the worst.
He was the worst. That was some Meteor Man type shit. But, like, Mashallah Ali killed that shit. So,
Baby Lords, that shit was
yeah, so Luke Cage again had good elements and parts of it that were good. But overall, I couldn't say it was a good show. It was an entertaining show.
I'm disappointed because you know, the writers behind it, I wanted to root for it, and like
of course,
and it had like a hip hop sound. I was like, okay, this is fun.
Hashtag Cam hates black actors. But go ahead.
Boy, I tell you, it'd be your own people.
Yo, when I was at Marvel, because that first week is when Luke Cage came out, and so that weekend I come to work. And then they're talking about Luke Cage and being all critical, saying this and that. So they're like, yo, Cam, what'd you think about Luke Cage? And I was like, first of all, I'm black, so it was amazing. And they're like, I was like, all right, now they got it out the way. Now we can talk about the critiques. So, but yeah, like I said, Luke Cage, entertaining show, but it had its issues and it had its problems. And I think season 2 they got a little bit better about it, but then they still had some issues too. Like
Mariah Stokes was good. Mariah Stokes was good.
They wasted her character though. She was dope.
She had a good performance. She did a hell of a job.
Oh, she was having the time of her life. She had so much fun. You could tell. Every time she was on screen, she was just having fun and enjoying it.
When he did the dab, that was the end of it.
Yeah, and then also like from like I didn't know, I'm not Caribbean or anything, but like Josh and some other people were talking about that. Like they were so pissed at the freaking
please put a real West Indian show.
You know what I thought when I saw him getting burnt and he was still cursing her out? I was like, that's West Indian B.
That dude probably had the best accent on the show, but
yes.
No.
The pops, whatever he is.
The one in the restaurant. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was the best. He was legit. He had me dying, but all the way till he got cooked, I was dying.
I'm just saying, like, if they made it that authentic, like my girl's having troubles with the regular patois that they were having. Imagine you gotta remember who's watching it, yo. It's not just us.
Yeah,
you want to have more people watching it.
Yeah.
So if they had a real West Indian talking, that would have been it. Like, no. Luke Cage was like, what you said?
I grew up with your family, so I would have understood it real good.
If they didn't have brother, what's the dude that be on the IG with all them accents? The comedian.
I know you're talking about.
What's his name? Major something or Major?
Yeah, Major Hype.
Major Hype. Oh boy, if they didn't have him,
they should have had
other parts of Luke Cage that you guys overlooked. There's a lot of great books. They will
That's true.
These are all the I'm going negative. I'm going negative on purpose.
Who's from Harlem? There's a lot of people that they talk about in Harlem.
Dapper Dan was facts. Heck yeah.
The hip hop photographer. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yep, I'm purposely.
A lot of cool references.
Yeah, but I'm purposely going from the negative aspects, just to try to break that point to show that it was a flawed show.
Your own people can.
Yeah, but then again, like say for instance,
make opinions great again.
And you know what made it whack? They kept teaming it when they tried to team him up with whack ass Iron Fist. I was like, man, I'm not feeling
Honestly,
it. But that's
episode
a comic thing.
The best part, like that's the best I've seen Iron Fist, yo.
Yeah, of course. Easily.
He had no choice.
He got better. Ever since everything not from his show, he was a lot better. But from on the positive aspect of it, the music direction was freaking amazing.
Amazing.
The freaking like you said, the dropping of historical stuff throughout the show on both seasons of New York.
First episode, you see the book by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yep. Yep. And then they're talking about so there was I think it was Chiho the main guy, the showrunner, he was saying that too. He was like, it was important for him to drop in references to books that Black people should read, and people were actually thinking about, oh shit, I've never heard about that. Like I should go look and read because they watched it on Luke Cage. I thought that was dope. I like that they used it. Method Man was in it, and then they had Sway, and they had like different aspects. Dapper Dan, and so they introduced. It got back to the whole New York undercover of like showing like quote unquote urban artists that people might have not have heard or have heard, and then they went to go look it up. Like you go on Spotify and listen to the score and the soundtrack. It's super dope. So a lot of artists you might not have heard before or whatever. So that aspect of it was good too. Like when I say the fake Harlem, because a lot of those shots are in Crown Heights, and so
that comes down to like logistics. I mean,
Williamsburg, but that's because I've been living in New York for that so now I know that. But then I think, but on the other side, from the outside looking in, a lot of people enjoyed like Luke Cage as a whole. Like they like the characters, like the bad guys and all that kind of stuff.
I did too.
Yeah, the bad guys are official.
I love Misty Knight was cool. I like her.
Yeah, Misty Knight was awesome,
man.
Yeah.
I think the supporting cast, to me, out of all the Netflix shows, the supporting cast helped all the shows. Like the main character might not be as good, but then the supporting cast helped it to elevate it a little bit better. The only one that on a solo tip is Punisher, because Punisher fucking kills that shit. John Barry
was amazing.
Let me
Luke Cage is the weakest character on the show, but that doesn't take away from it in terms of acting.
Exactly.
He's surrounded with talent.
Let me say this about going back to Black Panther. Like I said, whoever was a stunt fight coordinator need to be fired. Because I looked at Daredevil and Punisher with half their budget.
Amazing.
Anytime you saw a hallway scene, you knew it was about to go down.
And Cam, it went down too.
So this is why I'm gonna bring it back to Black. When I saw Black Panther fight scene, I was so heartbroken. I was like, why we couldn't get anything like Daredevil?
Well, they can't make it rated R for defense.
No, he's
no,
just
just
the way
straight fight choreography. You're right.
Look at Civil War. Look at Black Panther now. He fights so much better than he does in his own movie.
Okay.
And yeah. Dude, when you watch Civil War and you saw Black Panther, you was like, yes.
Yeah, he went in. He
about to go in.
Yeah,
and to get a whole feature film with Gumby and special effects and Pokey special effects, I was pissed. I'm like, man. Okay.
Well, at least when he fought Killmonger, it was no CG. Thank God.
What? Oh, you talking about the real fight?
Nah, the real fight. The real fight. I'm talking about during the waterfall. That's the
that was a Gumby scene.
I'm talking about the Lion King. The Lion King cliff when they fought on that shit right there. When they fought on the Lion King cliff, that was official.
I killed Mufasa.
You see Scarf top tight. God damn it. I paid you to kill him. We prepare. Yeah, let me stop.
I will say this, and Black Panther did have people want to dress up as comic book characters for Halloween. We had people want to be Killmonger.
Bro, what other options we had?
We had Spider-Man for a hot second. Miles Morales, we could have been him too.
Well, that's true. And Dwayne made that point before. We were talking about how, like, during Halloween, you always be the black version of something. Exactly. And so with Black Panther, people could just be themselves and just like, I'm Black Panther, like, as opposed to being like the black, Indiana Jones or whatever.
Well, we got Tyrone Biggums or somebody,
Hey, we all in the same boat. We hated Halloween because we couldn't. We had to be the black Indiana Jones. I was like, yeah, you could be Blade, but like, which Blade do we want to be? Do we want to be the? Do we want to be
a belt for a whip?
Yeah.
Backlash.
Yo, like, so tight. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, it's over when somebody's like, yo, what you supposed to be?
Hey, Dwayne, let me give you a quick story. When I was one Halloween, peep this. I came as Mars Blackman. Yeah. Nobody under 30 knew who I was. They were like, who you supposed to be?
Just go home, bro.
Yo, you can't even be Superman. You can't be none of them characters.
Yo, one year, me and Ed was damn well Chilean minors, yo.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Somebody asked me if I was Mike Tomlin, yo. I said, yo, man, I'm about to leave, yo.
We can't even
be Mike Tomlin.
Yo, like, that's what people don't understand. It's a struggle for us for Halloween. It's a struggle for us, man. We can't be selective, man.
Black Panther broke down that wall, Cam.
That's why he got.
Yo,
that's why he gotta get it. That's why he gotta get it.
Hey, Lash, when I used to have my afro, they was like, "You supposed to be Buckwheat?" I was like, "How come I can't be Frederick Douglass?"
I quit.
Bitch. Why everything gotta be Buckwheat with a fro?
Oh, motherfucker.
Now we got respect, man.
Yeah. We got respect.
Well, there you go. All right, with that, let's do some final words.
Final word. They never had a Meteor Man costume, and I want to know why.
Meteor Man?
They never had a Meteor Man costume.
Or Blink Man, yo.
Or Blink Man. We're not doing it, B. Yo, we had a rough B. That's why he got to win it. That's why he got to win it. We got some notoriety, man. We got some respect, man.
Oh shit! Hilarious.
I'll do my final word last. Oh my god, that was Buckwheat. Woo!
Cam, you want to do your final word?
Yeah. Seeing Rosario Dawson go from Eric Andre to Holcomb just shows I had the president-elect. What's that dude's name? Cory Book, whatever his name is. I don't even know. Light-skinned dude that's running for president. Cory something.
Cory Booker.
Cory Booker. Just shows I had a chance. Cause she, man.
You dating Cory Booker?
Yeah.
Since when?
Man, this has been a thing, bro. Like, oh, I'm devastated. But it just shows, man. You fellas, shoot your shot out there. Like, because Rodario is giving chances. She is giving chances. So that's my
final. You shoot your shot on her Twitter page one day. I'm like, yo, look at this guy. Yo.
Oh, you know I will. Hey, shoot and shoot, bro.
I was about to report you to Twitter. I'm like, yo, look at this guy right here, yo.
You better not, boy. Support your guy.
I just googled it, man. They were just at the movies, man.
Nah,
that's it.
Nah. We go. I'm gonna drop something on you.
Stalker, you got some hidden surveillance or something?
They was at the show of Hamilton together backstage, and she was singing to him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother.
Yep.
Dwayne, final word.
I just want to give props to a black hero or comic book character that's overlooked, Mr. Glass, yo. I went to see Glass last night. That dude's the smartest comic book character of all time, yo.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson.
It's worth it.
No. You can wait the DVD. But yo, Samuel L. Jackson, man, like I really feel like he doesn't get enough props, yo. He's a better actor than Will Smith.
Hardest working man in Hollywood.
Bro, he does a lot of good movies. He's gonna be in Captain Marvel. He does everything, man. Damn, how many comic book characters has he been? Just two, right?
I think just two. Yeah, I think
Nick Fury and Mr. Glass.
But yeah, unless you count Mace, if that's a common Mace.
Oh, Windu.
Oh
yeah, Mace Windu. He was a Jedi, so he up there.
Damn. But yeah, I saw Glass last night. I mean, you could wait. It's not a bad movie. I'd probably give it 7 out of 10. It's really hard to make a comic book type film without a lot of background, but they have 2 films that kind of give you a background. So my final word is to wait to DVD if you can, but it's a solid movie.
That and Creed 2.
Huh?
That and Creed 2.
Oh, Creed 2. You can wait to TNT. with commercial.
Are you serious?
Oh. No, it's just it's hard to pit those two together. Like I know, I just didn't get the Russian side of it, yo. You know what I mean? Like I watched it. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but obviously Drago's son is fighting Apollo's son, so there's history between them. But it's just a dynamic between Drago and his dad. I'm just like I wasn't really feeling that part. It's a decent film. But it's just like, I don't know. They didn't have to make it.
Okay.
And it did so well, you know they're going to make a part 3.
Damn.
But you know what? A black man directed this, so go see it. Sorry, I take it back.
I'm
on my Alchemy X, yo. And Alchemy X, yo.
Make movies black again. My final word. My final word is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse got nominated for Best Animated Feature. That shit is super dope. I watched it twice. It's just a really good film. Like, and it's good on the art level. It's good on the actual like superhero level. It's good on just the actual film level. Like, this did a really good job. And I think it could actually break that, you know, the Pixar wins at Best Animated Feature every year thing that's been happening basically forever. But it's dope. I can't recommend it enough. It's probably one of my favorite movies of the year. So, want to give that shout out. And you get the final word.
All right, my final word is, as far as the Trumpism and the hats and all of that, it's just funny how a lot of people in all races are going to say give them a chance, freedom of speech and all that, but at the same time, our brother Kaepernick just put his fist up and there was an effing uproar, and he didn't say a damn thing. So just pay attention to all of that, man. They choose what's bad and they choose what's tolerable, and you're not getting me, man.
Who's they?
What do you mean, you people?
Everybody, because it's everybody who judged Kaepernick on that. But this one, I feel like it's going to get a pass. Or let them express their political views, but then you want to hang Kaepernick for what he believed in. So I just find that hypocritical.
And I agree with you because all these bootleg ass quarterbacks out there getting jobs with Kaepernick, not
facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yep.
Yo, Mark Sanchez, who's the one that got brought out of retirement?
They was trying to bring out the Hasselback at 43 years old.
Almost.
Get out of here, man. I'm good.
Nice. But yeah, man, this is a table of truth, and we out. Oh shit! Yo,
you can't be doing
yo,
that.
yo. We're laughing at this. Wow.
Oh, we got a fan who's Helen.
Yo, we gotta. Someone is not too fond of our type of comedy. Shout out to that one.
Cancer.
Shout out to that non-fan.
I'm supporting.
What she said? The fan?
Yo, said Dwayne hate black people.
Dwayne, what did you do to this young lady?
Hey, you know what? We did our job. You listen. You want to come on to our show and voice your. Well, you ain't gonna come on, but you're gonna go to Facebook. right to us. We have a TOT policy here, you know. But feel free.
Nah, I think we're gonna try to do more live streams and kind of put it out to people so folks can kind of experience live.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man.
I gotta see that comment.
Yeah, seriously. All right, this is the table of truth, and we are out.
One.
Peace.
Peace.
Yo, this was a dope episode.